that it's supposed to be my other son, but I choose my daughter instead. Is this shunned upon in society, or does the environment around the business have no interest in that? Is it only a family matter, or does it also have an impact for the business itself?
You know, that's a good question. You know, to what extent maybe the community of stakeholders or clients don't approve these. Yes, who would like to answer this, please? Andrea.
Yes, if I can,
Andrea?
I did a bit of research on this topic, especially on primogeniture and leadership succession. In reality, it's not true that in northern countries primogeniture is not followed. It's a belief that it's not, because of the reasons we were mentioning before about Nordic countries versus Mediterranean one. But in reality, there are some statistics showing that worldwide, till 2020. 65% of businesses of small and medium sized, they were using primogeniture as the preferred succession choice when you choose the leader. And it's interesting because we believe it's something belongs to the past, but it's not true, and especially in specific sector. What I want to say about this, specifically your point, in reality, succession, primogeniture is a social norm. So your observation and question is true. When you don't follow it, it's you are breaking something within your culture, and especially in specific sector. There are some studies, for example, showing that if you systematically choose your firstborn as successor, 3 years after the succession choice, company's performance drop. Instead, if you have the courage to break down and choose a second or later born, those family businesses, 3 years after, they experience a performance increase. So some of this research tells us two things. First, that is, and this is a bit contrary to what we were discussing right now, it's not always correct or only correct to say that nepotism is wrong. And I want a bit to make a provocation here. If you have 3, 4 children, but even 2, that are committed to join, that love the business, that have tasted knowledge, that got degrees, and now the governance discussion that we have, everyone is trained, they go to the best school, they make the best experience. Why should we look outside in the market? So this is the first question. The second one is that there is a possibility to also look at primogeniture in flipping the eyes, the viewpoint. Because primogeniture is a right. I'm a firstborn. I got my business. That's true story. I sold it because it was not a good business. Everyone in the family hated me because I destroyed a business at the third generation. However, so it's a right. But we can also look at primogeniture as a burden for who is firstborn. Sometimes you get businesses that are not good, and then everyone else says, "Oh yes, I'm secondborn. So I do my stuffs. I do the musician. I do art, I use the money in the best way, someone else will take the leadership because it's in its right." So I think that the topic is a bit more complex, and it's nice to look at all the nuances, again, varieties that we have.
If I build on the complexity issue, that enhances the challenge of doing research. Remember, we come from the research side. We're not here to build succession plans per se. So, when we send a survey, and it's 4 pages, and there are a lot of complex questions, what do we...
The founders were willing even to consider outside successor because of the religious beliefs. Because it's no religious belief, it's not important about this aspect process, whether it was a family member or no family member. And that shocked us because we thought, for sure there's an interest for you, for your son or your daughter to continue, but actually it wasn't. So in a way, like we were discussing, the cultural aspect as well would have an influence. But there are occurrences, there are elements that can actually influence it.
Thank you, Alan. Okay, I think we have time enough to move on to the final question, which is directed to Naima, and it's more about estate and ownership succession. How do we transfer the family asset, the family business, Okay, Umaima is from Morocco. Expound more the Muslim faith and how does it influence this specific, you know, activity. Succession planning or, as we said, ownership succession. Thank you. Please.
Good evening, everyone. It's a great pleasure and honor to be with you today. Thank you for the opportunity to share some ideas on the Muslim countries and Muslim faith in interaction with business practices in family businesses. Um, First of all, I'd like to shed light on the fact that I think there are some common trends, and also I need to mention that the degree of religiosity is very important to highlight because when we talk about families that are in deep commitment with their faith, religion will not be a simple spiritual aspect of life, but it will be at the core of the business and at the core of the identity and mission of the family business. So this is a very important point I will start with, and then I will try to share with you some principles, some Muslim or Islamic values that impact directly or indirectly impact the business practices in our context. So we have honesty and integrity, and I think there is a trend in Arab countries or in Muslim countries showing that family businesses may prefer more trust-based relationships more than purely contractual agreements, and this is because, or this is due to the importance and significance of honesty and integrity in Islamic region and in Islamic faith. Also, we have what we call justice, and it shape the HR management practices. And also, we have another principle which is about the consultation, or what we call shura. It's a principle that may guide the governance of the family business in a way that we need to take into consideration the opinion of each one of the stakeholders of the firm, which may lead to a collaborative decision making. And this is also a principle, an important principle of Islam. We have also the principle of benevolence, which is about giving more than what's expected, and this can be reshaping the CSR activity or the activities of the family businesses toward community. What I can say is that family businesses may develop some CSR activities not for corporate purposes, but because it's a rewarded action in our religion. We have also another principle which is about moderation, which will affect the risk attitude in family businesses. So in Islam, in our religion, we family businesses are more encouraged to be moderate, to have this moderation in their risk attitude, not to take excessive risks, and nor to be conservative. And also we have another common principle, which is about the social networks. The Islam emphasizes the importance of relying on social networks to maybe to choose partners, or to choose to hire new employees, etc. And also I can talk about some Muslim principles that are about the charity and the link with social responsibility. So we have what we call zakat, which is a religious duty. It's about redistributing wealth, redistributing 2.5% of the wealth annually in those that are in need. And also we have another type of charity, which is the sadaqah, or voluntary charity. This is voluntary action recommended or encouraged in Islam in order to support social causes. And I think these two principles or these two practices can help foster the CSR activities within family businesses, especially that family businesses are value-driven organizations. Religion also shape the investment or the financial behavior of family businesses. For example, when we conducted a study on dividend financing and investment policies in the context of the Arab world, we found some trends that are shaping or reshaping the business practices, the rational, orthodox financial behavior of family businesses. For example, for the regarding the dividend policy, there is a culture. There are different cultures and different relationships to money. We perceive money differently in our context. So we can have a spending attitude or a saver attitude, and this can give us some insights about the heterogeneity of businesses or family businesses in one context, which is the Arab world. And also, we still have some blending or confusion between the family money and the company funds. As for the financing policy, we have what we call riba, which is the interest of the debt. So it's prohibited in Islam because we think that money should come from another from a cycle, an economic cycle, and it should not be generated without making an effort. And that's why this prohibition or this rule in this religious belief or this religious rule can encourage family businesses to avoid that, which may cause some financial constraints because the family business become more relying on self-financing, and this can prevent them from growth and expansion. As for the investment policy, we have identified also that the Islamic religion should avoid or encourages us to avoid the hoarding culture, because hoarding wealth without putting it to productive or charitable use is discouraged in Islam. So we need to reinvest money and reinvest it in beneficial actions and in some areas that comply with the Sharia or the Islamic law. About succession, and here I would like to mention that there is a law about inheritance, which is typically divided among heirs according to fixed proportions outlined in the Quran. And the idea is that we have male heirs receiving larger shares than family heirs, which will automatically affect the ownership, the wealth of each successor or of each member of the family. And many family businesses may concentrate the leadership role within the main members because we think that in Islam, we think that male or men hold the primary power, and they are more skilled or qualified to deal with money or to manage money, and also because they are seen as the heads of households. So that may be that might private the female family members who may possess some qualifications and necessary skills to be the successor. But it's not only due to the Sharia law; it's also these gender issues are also caused by culture. We have what we call the patriarchy. We are still suffering in our countries from patriarchy. I'm not giving a generalization of findings, but I'm talking about a trend. So male or men are dominant in family and society. They are seen, as I said before, they are seen as the heads of households. So they can take more responsibility and to manage money, and they can take more decisions in the family unit and also in within the business. And this can lead us to say that the female agency is limited, and we still encounter as women, we still encounter some barriers or some more barriers that prohibit us from taking over the some high positions within the family firm. But what I can say, or what I should say, is that the role of women is still present in the family firm, maybe informally, but they are more seen that they are more seen as chief emotional officers than chief executive officers. So they play a main role behind the scenes. And I will try to finish or to conclude by this verbatim from a study saying that you cannot say, or it's going to be difficult to say no to your uncle or father, even if you know very well that he will make a bad decision, but you can say no to your younger brother or sister. It's a matter of culture. So that's it. I would like to conclude that I think gender issues are more related to culture rather than to religion or Islamic religion. That's it.
Thank you. Excellent illustration. We are not here to judge religion, so we are having a discussion. Comments, questions?
Just my submission to this, like in India as well, we have a law, that is the Hindu undivided family law, that by nature says that there is a karta in the family. Karta is the eldest, male member of the family. Until the time the karta is there, the succession can't happen, even though it's unofficially has happened. But till the time the karta is alive, the succession can't happen. Though it's changing nowadays, but the law is there in our constitution.
Can I ask a question? Maybe Sumaya, you can participate as well. But to these traditional patriarchal or Muslim-inspired family firms, do they care how stakeholders and clients see them? So they will choose, say, the primogenitor, or they will go for the boy instead of the girl, despite the fact, that there is a competency issue there?
I think it's, as Umayma was saying, it is a patriarchal society. So what other things, they don't care about what other things. They are the main persons to decide. So
the community, the clients, the customers, do they influence the behavior of the patriarchal leader?
If he thinks that he has some interest in listening to the others, he will listen. If the patriarch do not want to listen, he will not listen.
Okay.
Just another idea, just to complete what my colleague said. I think it's a societal norm. So if you choose the boy to be the successor, I think you will comply with the common social norm that is
the social norm.
Yeah, it's a social norm. Yeah, because because we are defending a social norm. If you choose the boy, even the clients, even the stakeholders will be okay, because we have this patriarchal norm in the society.
Good. Okay, I think it's time to close it here, given the fact that we have the protocol, and it's an opportunity for us to continue the discussion on one-to-one, and there will be lots of sessions tomorrow, and I'm sure you'll get the chance even during the keynote tomorrow to continue from these dimensions. Let me thank the panelists and Alan for doing a great job, and I hope you have enjoyed it, and my apologies to Elias for running late 3 minutes. Thank you. Good evening.
So before we leave, just a gift of appreciation to our
speakers, panelists, moderators. And you can take a photo before we leave here. Just in front of the banner. The lights, I don't know how the lights are working. All of us.
The lights can go on, yes.
I don't know.
Who knows? The Minister of
The
Education.
Akira is not here.
Thank you. Mister, thank you.